Alright, let's hope that those audio problems are gone, and I think they should be gone. They haven't showed up as far as I can tell. It doesn't sound like anything. Alright, if they show up again, I will. Yeah, let's just press on. So, on the gloomy shore of a moody inlet sits a rickety factory. Once, and supposedly still, it was committed to the cutting and polishing of sapphires. Now it is the place where the fierce philanthropist houses her intrepid staff of engineers, the ingenious men and women who will convert your ship into a submarine. So I need to pay a lot of money, um, donate a mysterious device, um, donate ivory, contribute to nautical know-how. Oh, I see. Okay, so these are all things that will increase just that one stat. Um, or contribute advanced theory. These idiots don't have the first idea what they're doing. And for that I need 100. So, no, that's not worth it. I can just use 60 and... Is there anything to give me... Hmm. Stygian Ivory is actually fairly easy to find, so I think I'll use that. I'll just do 60 for one of these, and then an ingenious approach. You watch the artifact being welded into a tangle of pipes deep into the bowels of the engine. It'll never work, mutters one engineer. It bloody will. Potty mouth, Evan. The chief says, wiping sweat and oil from her forehead. Now I need Stygian Ivory. I can't remember where to get that. But, anyway, Carnelian, London's first undersea colony, sweats under a blanket of southern heat. To the right of the dock, the sapphire mines yawn. To the left, the governor's house stands prim as an elderwick mansion. Beyond lies the fungal jungle, ghostly in white and violet. You can visit any one of these three places. Influence affairs. This is very interesting. So basically, Carnelian is there's I think a couple places in the game where there's factions vying for control, basically. And if you have a spy and you have a way to influence the events, you can decide which faction wins out. In this place, you have the Londoners, obviously. You have a tiger, which I assume is from the Isle of Cats, and the Connet. So you have the Heartcross House, where the governor administers this distant fleck of Her Majesty's empire. A tiger in the Blue Bazaar. The Cornelian's coast padding natives are eloquent, placid, and acerbic most of the time. Call a room above a bookshop. The diplomats of the Nakanet were expelled from Port Carnelian following the Galata incident. Only one remains, not in any official capacity, you understand. Let's talk to the governor first. Sure. Report. The governor is very, very busy. The attaché offers you a bowl of sugared puffballs and explains the work the governor does among the natives. Gotta keep them happy. What? After all, they are tigers. Sure, let's see. Oh, that's 5 terror for 20. That's not bad. On way from home, they import the dollies from London. But the tea is local, white and smoky. The crumpets are warm, the tablecloths white. You can almost imagine that you're back in Vale Garden. Vale Garden's another region of London, except for the tiger lounging on a divan. It laps tea from an azure bowl and complains about the recent nostalgic trend in poetry. Oh, right, I was going to say tigers, right. I don't understand if they mean actual tigers or, like, the people are tigers. The stalls are almost the same as what... Okay. Actually, this place is indeed mostly sapphires. Yeah, you can buy sapphires here. On the cheap, as it turns out. And Dark Drop Coffee. Also on the cheap, as it turns out. I need Dark Drop Coffee for that one quest, but I'm not going back home anytime soon. Unless... Okay, maybe I should. And these So here's the thing. If I go that way, back north to London, I can bring these and make a bit of profit. If I go that way toward Polythreme, I can make a profit off of the Casca Sapphires. That's tough, actually. I said I was going to go to Adam's Way anyway, so I might as well just buy these and make this part of the return trip on the way back. And also, supplies here they're not cheap, but they're not expensive either. Oh! Crewman steps into your cabin. His uniform is one of your issue, though the face rings no bells. They do blend together after a while. This, however, does not look like a chap who swabs decks or loads cannons. Beg your pardon, Captain. Allow me to introduce myself. Gervais, at your service, at least while the poor fellow tied up behind the galley remains regrettably indisposed. May I trouble you for a brief moment of your time before you escort me to the brig? Hear him out. He's at least honest about his dishonesty. A message from London. My gracious employer has grave concerns about your guest down in the hold, Captain. And the course of which you are now committed. Blood will be spilled before this voyage is over, but it needn't be yours. Gervais produces a small vial, crystal. The blood is red, redder than normal blood, and is glowing with vitality. Here is more bitter vintage. When the time comes, I urge you to choose wisely. A favor from Mile High is rarely a poor investment. Okay, so apparently it has something to do with that delivery. Give me a second, actually. I need to see something. How many wounds do I have? Oh, it doesn't say. Oh, I have one wound. Ooh. That might be tough then. I'm not going to make it north this journey anyway. Until I get a decent ship, I won't be able to make it, like, round trips, so to speak, where I, like, circle the entire map. Usually I'll be doing half and half, or a quarter, or whatever. Okay, so 10 to get down here. Oh, it sure is beautiful. I love the coast. It's so beautiful here. I love the design of it so much. In fact, if it weren't for the fact that there isn't much down here, and it's kind of hard to get to, not hard to get to, like, sailing-wise, but I mean, there's a lot of tough enemies in this area that are really hard to fight. If it weren't for that, I would come down here a lot more often. Rhine Heights. Where the blue prophets call the names of those about to die. Those are the blue prophets, by the way. Andromeda's rooms. Those are also blue prophets. Okay, that was good. I do not like fighting those guys. They are really hard to fight. Aha. Carmine tint waves. We're approaching Adam's Way, where flows the mountain's blood. On a bed of monumental ruins, warehouses and way stations of shrewd technology. All ships that approach Adam's Way are intercepted by the gracious, the Presbyterians, splendidly head-dressed coast guards. A quaint but inviolable tradition governs entry. You must tell them one of 3 stories. In return, you will be permitted to spend a single day in port. My foreigners only allowed a single day in Adam's Way. For your own protection, one of them explains, kindly. The soil of the elder continent is dangerous to incomers, they claim. Those who linger can contract unfortunate conditions, hysteria, rupture, animescence, and the rumors that Presbyterian law offers no protection to foreigners after dark. Errant nonsense. Unfortunately, I need a port report of hell, apparently. An unread log, which you can find at random events, basically, and destroying ships. And recent news. I have none of these, but I can sell my travel linen. Buy a bit of fuel. I'll come back here and get that stuff. You can sell your shrine as stone, that's impressive. License for immortal trade. We will be coming back to Adam's Way, you can trust me on that one. mustache. Has there ever been a greater name for a monster? He mustache. I can't wait till I get that awesome weapon. Still need to find Demo Island, actually. Lottery of light on the southern horizon. You approach Varchas. Varchas, the mirrored city. Interesting. Lightning crawls leisurely into the funnel. Uranus's light dancing. The cry goes up. The burning white light of Varchas. The mirrored city where light was always the law. The walled city of Varchas is a tangle of green vines and luminescent fungal flowers, slow blooming around moldering stone. When a quin's sunks of carved stepped towers rises over the walls and pours burning white light into the bleak sky. A rough, shadowed path leads from the docks to the mirrored gates of Varchas. Two towering carved stone lamps throw their light on the angled mirrors, and a blue-cloaked guard stands in the reflected light. The city is a beacon against the tree-hushed, sprawling darkness of the Elder Continents. In the far distance, a vast mountain glimmers. Okay, comes from the fungus growing the city stones. The flowers have white, waxy leaves which leave powdery traces on your fingers. The light comes from the city. Coming from the city has the same caphorous quality and smell. Perfume worn too many days on the body, unread books left to turn to ink-stained pulp, a garden drowned in rotting and still water. The sailors are waving you over. They're sitting on some upturned crates on the docks, playing a game with mirrored chips and stylized snakes made of bone. You're not thinking of going in there. The sailors gawk at you in unconcealed horror. They take turns telling you gruesome stories of Varchas, which they no doubt invented whole cloth. Some are convinced that the Varchasi renders sailors into tallow to light their city. Others say they steal shadows and sell them to the masters. All of them, their masters, sorry, not the masters. All of them are convinced that they blind any stranger dare gaze too long upon the city's secrets. We're just waiting to get paid, and then we're off, one of the sailors says, nervously fingering a mirror chip. I've only got one eye left, and I'd like to keep it. Excuse me, sorry. Ask the guards a few questions. Never a bad idea to gather a little intelligence. Sure. The cloaked guard only acknowledges your existence when you step out of the darkness of the path and into the light of the lamps. The guard stands in the middle of the pool of light, looking warily at the darkness beyond you. Up close, the guard's blue cloak is threadbare and mossy upon the helm. A pattern of embroidered suns runs along the collar, but the gold thread is dull. The coal around her eyes is smudged. Well, Damas, she says, are you going to ask your questions, or are you going to stare? Her tone is brusque, but her expression is curiously eager. You don't think Varchas receives many visitors. Your name is not Damas, you correct her politely. Sorry. The guard looks scandalized and tries to stop her ears. All those who are not Varchasi are Damas. You have been touched by darkness and it has taken your name. She fixes you with an admonishing look and adds, it is very ill-mannered to pretend you still have one. You begin to see why Varchas is not, why Varchas is often not visited. It looks like you will have to get used to being called Tamas if you enter. Ask about the light. It seems a bit wasteful, possibly even ostentatious. We must always walk in mirrors' lights. We burn our lamps night and day to banish darkness from the mirrored city. He tells you proudly. If we let darkness corrupt us, we would not be Varchasi anymore, but Tamas, like you. You wonder, is that so terrible a fate? Her mocking laugh answers you even before her words do. Yes, it would be terrible indeed, Tamas. And before you ask, she adds, no, I do not have any desire to leave Varchas. The rest of the Neath has fallen from Miri's grace, and I have no wish to join them. Ask about the city's custom. Best know about before you flout them. Easier to plan an escape route that way. Do not touch the mirrors. Do not even look into the mirrors, she says, her voice hard. Try very hard not to dream. Were you expecting something along the lines of don't murder anyone, or only wear red on special occasions? Still, you smile and nod. You have no more questions? You are satisfied. Or begin. Perhaps the guard's voice is beginning to grate a little. She looks a little disappointed, but does not try to engage you any further. Okay. Compile a report, sure. Tone down the details of the light and its brilliance. You don't want to inspire envy in the Admiralty staff. Tell the guard you wish to enter. Well, what else are gates for if not to go through? She makes a mark on her ledger before ringing a brass bell. The mirrors of the gate are rearranged to give you space to pass, but never once allowed shadow to touch the guard. Our ways are not yours, Tomas. Remember that, and walk in the light of Mihir. Your eyes are blinded by the brilliance of the light. The variant rot smell is even thicker. It is so much flame and reflected light press oppressively against your skin. Your head pounds. In a few minutes before your eyes adjust, it is a few minutes before your eyes adjust, and you can look around. Brass lamps and scoured sconces hang from every wall, and phosphorescent fungus grows moss-like upon every doorway and ceiling. Cunningly arranged mirrors catch every droplet of light and diffuse it till every cobblestone rampart of the city is drenched and blazing and utterly without shadow. Okay, so who do I want to talk to? The firekeeper, drafted all in saffron, a pair of thick fireproof gloves dangling from a silver chain on at her wrist. The white cloaked guard. The sun embroidered on his cloak are picked out with gold thread, and the edges jeweled with carnelian. The fungus carter, or cartus, piled with fungal blooms and jars of algae painstakingly scraped from the surface of the walls. The jewel-turbaned youth, he's winking at you. That is, it a furtive, furtive wink, or a flirtatious one. Only one way to find out. Curious what else is there. Time to venture further than the outer district. The mirrored city gleams invitingly. You'll get used to the smell in time. You walk galleried courtyards wreathed in vines and fungal blooms. Long, straight roadways crisscross the length and breadth of Varchas, the stone worn by the wheels of carts and the tread of thousands of slippered feet. Lamp lighters constantly check the fuel levels of sconces and replace wicks. The firekeepers check the coiled spring mechanisms that control the angle of the mirrors. There's much to explore. Where will you go next? There are bars and gambling houses to the west. The hospital lies in the shadow of the southern tower, although it's ironic that they would say the word shadow. The guard's house down a side street. You see the sun emblazoned flag from here. Temple of Mir, or the inn. And something else, apparently. Let's try the guardhouse first. Just follow the stream of white cloaks. A modest stone building with relief lintels and wide, unshuttered windows. The stylized sun of Mihir flutters from a silk flag above the portico. It is a scene of controlled chaos. You see the white cloaks guards bustling to and fro, shouting passionately to each other, while a stream of fungus carters, merchants, and ordinary citizens petition them. What's going on? Is this a particularly busy day, or are they always so besieged? One second here. Train with the guards, or I'll do this actually. You are preparing for a pilgrimage to Amaradri, Amaradri, the Mountain of Light. Oh my God, the Mountain of Light. The young guard tells you, stamping yet another merchant's application. It always turns into a bit of a festival. Everyone wants permission to go, and so they come to harangue us when the sun priests turn them away. Is it a religious pilgrimage? Well, a bit, she makes a face. Every merchant at the city suddenly becomes very devoted to Mihir when pilgrimage season comes anyway. Hmm. Let's go to there. Entertainment, the hospital, guard's house, temple of Mihir. Let's try the temple, I guess? Or the hospital, sure. Are you feeling a bit fevered? Do you hope to learn medical secrets? Or are you just enjoying the moans and flushed face of the sick and suffering? The charitable hospital is a long, galleried building divided into a series of curtained wall wards with their own light sources and mirror series. A dour-faced nurse glances at you expectingly. Which ward are you here to visit? Okay, so the fungal infection ward, they keep it cool and closed off. The doctors and nurses all wear masks when they enter. How bad can a fungal infection be? The mirrorless room, the ward is locked several times over, and the dour-faced nurse looks uncomfortable when you mention it. The open ward, you see patients sprawling on their backs, playing card games and chatting to visitors. Most of them have minor injuries. Um, hmm, I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe the mirrorless one. Let's see. Entertainment in Varchas. There are bars and gambling houses to the west. Follow the clinks of wine glasses and the companionable shouts. There are many available. Mihir is not a Puritan god. The finer establishments in the city are lit with expensive imported gases and have little blue glowing scintillac statuettes scattered on the shelves. So the arguing priests, the duelists, or the gaming table. I am not a gambler. What's in the Temple of Mihir? Lies in the sacred district at the center of Vachas. Sounds of bells grow louder and more reverent as you approach. The temple tower pierces through the city's heart, taller than the other four towers which stand at each of the cardinal points. Around the temple sprawls the sacred district. Vine-colored stone shrines, still ponds glowing with algae, and flash-finned carp. Priests in white, their wrists heavy with metal chains. There are no mirrors in the Temple of Mirror. The rest of the city has to make do with mirrored light reflections, but Mirror's most sacred space is filled with hundreds of lamps and lit candles of hard-packed phosphorescent fungus. Listen to the mantras. In Varchas, the sun still shines, calls the sun priest in the way of an invocation. The assembled Templar goers raise their voices in a well-worn reply. In Varchas, the sun still shines. Moss reliefs. The Agnihori, the Varchasi equivalent of a king or governor. He oversees the rituals and gives you a slated glance. The Temple of Mihir. His stone-carved form is rubbed daily with glowing moss. Perhaps it is guilt which makes you think of placing a elemental relic among the other offerings. Okay, let me see here. Actually, let me talk to this Jewel. Oh wait, no. Actually, no. That's probably a bad idea. Um, let's keep exploring. Let's go back to the hospital. I'm curious what lies in the mirrorless ward. The mirrorless room. This is where they keep the mirror clad. She whispers with a shudder. The mirrors whispered to them, and instead of going to the sun priest, they whispered back. You just abandon them in a locked room? We don't despise them. They're given food and water. Tending the mirror mad. Oh, mirror mad. That's what it says. Sorry. The mirror mad uses up almost as much fuel as Mihir's temple because they can only be lit with direct lamplight. We don't dare let them near any of the mirrors, she swears again. Their mirror mad are worse than Tamas. They no longer serve Mihir, but other powers. Those that speak in dreams and visions. She refuses to say anything else. Alright, what else is there? Um, I'm curious. I want to see how difficult this challenge is. 15%. Oh, that's pretty bad. Dang. Oh well. First, let me do this. And then, okay, so I want to go one more time. Who should I visit? Let's visit the Firekeeper, actually. Or, no, the white-cloaked guards. Okay. Tomas, he says, pressing his hands together with a greeting, then giving you a terrible anguished look. You look terrible. Or an anguished look. You look terrible. Are you sick with the terrible outsider's disease? Or is that what your nose looks like naturally? Oh. Over your protestations, he gives you the directions to the hospital. Oh, the medics are all butchers, to be sure, but they walk in the light of Mihir, he adds, breezily, then points to the guardhouse in the vague direction of the Temple of Mihir, in a street of bars and gaming houses. We don't want to get a reputation for being inhospitable. He laughs as if you made a grand joke, and then you laugh along weakly. What's the firekeeper up to? Dressed in all saffron, the pair of thick fireproof gloves dangle from a silver chain at her waist. It's too important to play guide to you, Tomas, she says. She tells you before you even open your mouth. I am the keeper of the western principal mirror. She points up at the enormous multi-faced mirror set atop each of the city's 5 towers. I'm only here because I'm looking for my idiot brother. He's probably busy pouring wine down some pretty dark-eyed boy's throat in tavern. It is a matter of urgency, you wonder? He's late for our lamp checks in the sacred district. Her terse reply is her terse reply as she hurries away. If the Angehor, I'm going to pronounce this properly. If the Angehotri found out, he'd be lucky to end up a lake dredger. Let's try the temple actually. Bas reliefs, sure. Bas reliefs. Each face of the temple is carved and worked. If you peer closely, the bas reliefs depict Varchas' fall into the Neath. Oh, is this one of the taken cities? I wonder. In the first panel, Mihir is depicted as the sun, beaming rays of thinly hammered gold into a surface city, both peaceful and prosperous. The 5 towers are carved with loving detail, barely recognizable without the wreaths of flowers, fungal flowers and curving vines. In the next, uh, sorry, in the next panel, Mihir blinks and the city turns to shards of onyx and jet, slowly crumbling away. Mihir then becomes a broad-shouldered, sorrow-faced man stalking the false starred darkness of the Neath in search of his lost city. His eyes are picked out in orange-red carnelian. It seems lit with inner fire. Varchas, as it is now, is conspicuously absent from the carvings, as if the stone carvers could not bear to chip their fallen outlines. And the fourth bell is sounded. Okay. Oh, I need 5 bells. Sorry. What do you calls it? Mm, sure, I'll go back here and I'll try that other challenge. Why not? Yangahori! Vachasi equivalent of king or governor. He's overseeing the rituals and gives you a slanted glance. You try to slide through the crowd toward the Angahorti. Alas, he is distracted by a pilgrim carrying a broken mirror like an injured child. It is evening. Okay. I guess I have to leave now. Go to the inn. At evening, after the 5th bell, each tamas is assigned a room. The light is endless and merciless. Will you sleep? All visitors in Varchas are given one night's accommodation in the city's only inn. It is a handsome stone mansion arranged around a pleasantly cool courtyard. Frescoes of city life are painted on the walls. Given how few visitors Varchas hosts, you suspect the inn is more usually used by philandering locals. Evening falls, or does it? The town's 5 principal mirrors are mounted on coiled spring mechanisms and alter their angles subtly to create the impression of evening. Across the city, the firekeepers throw pinches of colored powder into the lamps and pinches of light of light yellows to a softer brightness, or the quality of light yellows to a softer brightness. The wine-mazed lamplighter. Oh, he is dressed in saffron robes and is indeed pouring wine down the throat of a very attractive dark-eyed boy. You could tell him his sister is looking for him. He starts up in horror, spilling burgundy red wine everywhere. The young companion looks irritated. I'm late, he shouts. Mayor, forgive me. The Angahorti is going to skin me alive. He pumps her hand in gratitude. I thank you, Tomas. I won't forget this. Here, take my arc jewels. Um, kitchens. The courtyard. Or sleep. Let's try the courtyard first. Cushions are arrayed around the marble fountain into the middle. Musicians pluck their instruments under the shade of a twisted yellow leaf trees. I succeeded. Their songs are curiously prosaic, their lyrics more like a biographical report than a poetic invention. You listen to a lake dredger's waterlogged, lotus-rooted dirge. You sway to the slow, steady ballad of the fungus collectors and join in the lamplighters' quick-footed dance, which mimics their evening rounds. The evening finishes with the Song of Mihir, which is sung to the accompaniment of string instruments and drums and polished glass prisms which spill the white light into rainbows and counterpoints to the notes. Beautiful. It is night, although there is no darkness in Varchas. Time to sleep. And draped with cotton sheets, stamped with vegetable dye patterns in muted. Oh yeah, sorry. Oh no, I read that. Yeah. In muted greens and blues. You fall into sleep easily, despite the bright light, but your dreams are full of whispering, glintering smokes, mirror vapors that coil in your reflection warped eye shapes, into reflection warped shapes. You see your limbs bend, your skin slow, your eyes twist. You wake with your heart pounding. Your nostrils are filled with the fungal rot smell of Varchas. Your body is as it always was, but somehow it is not as comforting as it should be. Oh dear Lord. Dawn in Varchas. Outsider time in Varchas is strictly rationed. Each morning at dawn, the guard visits the inn to eject any Tomas they find. They are very polite, very definite. Return, the guard tells you, but not yet. With that, they usher you into the darkness beyond the walls. You blink, mirror dazzles from your eyes. It's cold out here. I'm going to end this episode here, but next, I need to get some lunch, but next time, I'm going to talk about a little bit about Varchas before we push off.